Number 6. Persist until successful. The ability to persist on a given path, regardless of setback, unexpected event, bad news, and resistance. To continue steadfastly or firmly in some state, purpose, or the course of action, in spite of condition, is the trait common to those who make it. I assure you that I assure you that I at least am more persistent than I am talented. This is not a trait that people do or do not have. It's a something that can and must be developed. Children seem to display this quality innately until they come to see by socializing, parenting, or the combination of both. That is not how most people act. However, this quality is necessary to make any dream a reality. Whether you are sales person or the sales estate person, employer or employee, you will have to learn how to persist through the all type of situation. It is the this planet has some kind of force or natural tendency, almost like gravity, that challenges people's ability to persist. It almost like a universe is just trying to find out what you are made of as it continue to confront you. I know that any endeavor I tackle will require me to persist with 10x action until all resistance moves into support. I don't try to eliminate resistance. I merely keep going until the courses changes and my idea are maintained instead of defined. For example, I had a heckler on Facebook whose support I tried to gain but could not. Rather than deleting that person, I asked my follower on Facebook that thought of the situation and let them bury the guy and further support me. If something does not end up supporting me, I simply persist with so much success that any remaining resistance cease to exist. Persistence is a great advantage to anyone who wants to multiply his or her success because most other people have given up on their innate ability to persist. When you retrain yourself to do whatever is necessary to ensure that you are in the best mental, emotional, and financial position to preserve, you will find yourself on the list of the most successful people. 7. Take risk. Take risk. Once when I was in Vegas, a man sitting next to me said, "These casinos will always make money because the people that they play here are never willing to take risks at a level great enough to wipe them out." I am not suggesting that you go out and try wipe out them. I am not suggesting that you go out and try to take the casino down. However, the men's observation reminded me of how many of us are taught to play it safe, be conservative, and never really go for it in a big way. Life is not a great deal different than Vegas. You must put something into a game in order to get return. At some point, you will have to take a risk, and successful are willing to do so daily. In the truly big casinos of life business, do you really take enough risk to create the success you want and not need? Most people never go far enough in getting recognized, gaining attention, and making a big splash. They are trying to protect or conserve a reputation, a position, or some already achieved state. The successful are willing to take gambles, to put it all out there and know, regardless of the outcome, they can go back and do it again. They allow themselves to be criticized, looked at, and seen by the world, while the unsuccessful hold back and play it safe. Remember the old saying, nothing ventured, nothing gained, nothing ventured, nothing gained. At this time, it is vital that you get your family and friends to be supportive of you in taking risk and in no longer playing it safe. Be unreasonable. Be unreasonable. No, no, that is not an error. It does not say unreasonable. It does say unreasonable. In my book Sell to Survive, I introduced the notion that the successful salesperson must be unreasonable with his or her client in order to communicate the sale. This clearly flies in the face of the what most of us are taught. That is the to be reasonable and logical. Being unreasonable requires that you act without rational consideration and not in accordance with the practical realities. And as that's what I want you to do. When most people see this definition, they got confused and think that I am telling them to be crazy. But successful people recognize vital it how vital it is to act without reason. They know that they cannot afford to act in accordance with the agreed upon realities. If they do, their supposed impossible can never become possible for them. Being 10x are required thinking and acting unreasonably. Otherwise, you will end up same way everyone else does, forced to survive on a successful people and left over. Unreasonable does not mean being mentally unstable, and let's face it, who is not just a little of the rocker, but that you are refused to validate an alleged sanity of reasonable action that will never get you what you want. Most of the world is playing in the accordance with some set of stupid useless reasonable rules that only ensure that they continue trudging along in the bondage as a mere slave. Think about it. Would we have cars, airplanes, space travel, telephone and internet in addition to thousands of other things we take for granted if someone had not done something that another person had labeled unreasonable? Men would do nothing exceptional if they were not for the willingness to be unreasonable. So be one of the unreasonable ones. They are usually the people who make huge differences in the world.